Khione. I ask her what she sees in him. What could she possibly see in him, and why is she leaving? She doesn't answer. She only smiles and shrugs. A headdress made from the gutted skull of a bear cub enshrines her scalp, the teeth of the animal clutching the pale blue skin of her forehead. She rests her chin against a thick shawl of fur wrapped around her neck when a raspy cough escapes her pallid lungs. I stand at the apex between her and the demonic sun amidst an arctic expanse. With the stealth of a timber wolf, the smell of conifer resin, tinctured with smoke from the burning cities south of the hemisphere, infiltrates this land of polar caps and frozen hope. A swarm of electrochemical reactions has become trapped within the concaves of my eyes, etching out ravines filled with the sweet sap of her treachery in petrified globules. She'll always plague my memories now that her silhouette has burned itself into the white field of my vision like a wax seal, lined with garlands of red hydrangeas and a hybrid of poinsettias infested with poisonous berries. A staircase is tumbled out of the sky from her lover's astral citadel to hang loosely at her feet as a gloating gesture of his supremacy. She eagerly climbs the steps to see him. I'm the only one who witnesses her departure. An entourage of cardinals and lemmings rests comfortably atop her shoulders and outstretched arms in the blinding midday light of winter. To them, she's as sentient and anonymous as an evergreen in an impassive forest where every tree refuses to acknowledge the presence of anyone or anything else for itself and its inescapable condition. Her ascent is postponed momentarily when she stops to look over her shoulder at me. She sees that I have noticed the hole she has cut into what would have been an otherwise perfectly azure sky. Rats enter and emerge from this opening in droves. This unwanted blemish on the skin of the heavens is festering with crumbling debris. It reeks of vice and decay. Thrown down the steps by a scavenger in flight, a chilling shriek crashes before her from behind the serrated edges of a broken horizon. Carved in ice, a frown of shame has defaced her lips. My balance is momentarily upset by a surge of pity. A bird of prey seizes upon this opportunity to descend upon me and lop my head off. Clutching my disintegrated visage in her talons on her way to her nest of starving chicks, I slide downward into a puddle of my own spinal fluid. I cry out to her again. I beg her not to leave, but it's useless. Teeming hordes of petrels and skuas have gleaned my carcass of every morsel save for a smattering of gray parts and limbs lying in a pool of opaque liquid which marks the place of their repast. Picked from the chewed stubs of my hands, a few forgotten fingers twitch, and my foot flaps mockingly atop the post of my severed ankle every time I call her name, leaving sonorous ripples in the soup of my eviscerated organs. In response to the shrill scream of my disembodied voice, flies flicker about for a frantic heartbeat before returning to their perches in the crevices of my frayed intestines and what's been left of my kidneys, heart, and spleen. My pleas eventually died down, disintegrating into tiny bubbles of air which peek out of the surface of my liquefied remains before disappearing altogether as the process of mortification sets in. Not even the insects devouring me can hear me now. I no longer have a voice, but she's too far away to hear me anyway. She's already climbed the stairs and disappeared behind the approaching clouds, where she can be alone with one who has always been worthier to her, even if she whispered otherwise to me.